Food prices are climbing again. Drought and fertilizer costs are wreaking havoc on our food supply, and new outbreaks are reminding us just how fragile supply chains really are. Stocking up now isn't panic, it's a smart investment. Hey, it's Jera with Wicked Prepared. Guys, there's a lot heading our way right now. A perfect storm is building. Skyrocketing energy and grocery prices, critically low supplies of key food staples like wheat and beef, worrying contagious outbreaks, and major global instability. We can't ignore what's coming. It's exactly why smart preparation matters more than ever. With prices projected to keep climbing, buying and stocking smart now isn't panic. It's one of the best investments you can make for your family's future. And I always have to remind myself that the biggest danger isn't always those things that we see coming, but the things that hit us unexpectedly out of nowhere with no warning whatsoever. So today I'm sharing a snapshot of what I've added to our preps and our prepper pantry lately and why. I like to focus on adding and improving gear and saving money on long-term food staples, keeping in mind that a well-stocked home not only provides during emergencies and crises, but it also saves us time and money overall. So let's jump in and stick around because at the end, I'm going to try, taste, and test some new items and let you know what I think of them. I'm going to start right over here, and the first thing I've got are these two Energizer lights. Now you definitely can never have too many lights, too many flashlights, but I grabbed these two because they were Ibotta rebates, so I got a deal on them. And this one here is like a little pen light, and it is 115 lumens. But the thing I liked about this one, number one, little pen lights are great because they can clip in your shirt pocket. They are just so small. They're the size of like a marker. They're easy to keep anywhere. But this one has white and UV light. So this is really good for, taking it to like a hotel room if you're traveling and looking around for, biological stains and things like that. So this I consider to be a really good travel prep because you can have a little flashlight that's handy with you and you can check out your hotel room, you can check out your Airbnb, anything that you need to. And then this one is a little keychain light, which I think is awesome. It's a Find Me keychain light. So it's a little flashlight for your keychain, but it also can help you find your keys. And it works with Apple phones. I don't have an Apple phone, but all my kids do, so this can go to one of them. I just thought this was really cool. And like I said, there was a rebate. Now, Ibotta is a rebate app. It gives a lot of rebates on things like groceries and shopping and stuff like that. But it also has rebates on things like this. And right now they're actually doing something really cool. They are doing free gas on Thursdays, I think it is. They have codes that you can get and put into the app and you can get some money off your gas and things like that. So I'll put a link down below where you can go check out the app if you've never used it before because it's a huge, huge money saver. I have saved so much money on so many different things. I've gotten a lot of things for free using that app, which is awesome. And it has a lot of any brand deals where you can actually save on any brand of a certain item. You don't have to buy a certain brand a lot of the time. But it is really awesome. And I will put a link down below. And also, if you want to check out anything that I show in the video a little bit more closely, I will have links to everything down below in the video description. Next thing I've got here is a fire starting kit. So this comes in a nice little tin. It's nice and compact, all comes together. And you slide that open and it's got, of course, the ferro rods and striker fire starter. And then it's got some waxed, like waterproof jute twine that can be used for tinder to catch the sparks. And one thing I like about this is it does have a lot of multi-purpose, like I love this. So it's got it's like almost like a mini pry bar. This also has some other things on it. It's got a flat screwdriver and a hex wrench part and a bottle opener. It's got all sorts of different functionality. And it comes strung on this string. It all comes together on this length of paracord, which you could unravel and make it into a longer rope if you needed it. And then, of course, at the end, it is an emergency whistle. So I love it when you've got a lot of different functionality in one item. And I also love it when it's all self-contained in a nice tin and it's very small and compact. And this would be great to stick in a bug out bag, in your car, in any kind of backpack, camping gear, hiking gear, all sorts of different uses for this. It's always important to have several different ways to start a fire. And this is just one that doesn't depend on, fuel, and it's pretty waterproof. Of course, anytime you get something like this, any different type of fire starting method, you always want to practice with it. You should practice starting fires anyways. Skills are really important. And next I got this. This is a water filter. It's kind of like a mini water filter. I was looking at this for quite a while. I didn't really realize the true value of it until after a while I kind of realized all the benefits to it. So basically this kind of takes the idea of a straw water filter, like a life straw, and kind of improves upon it. Because with a life straw, they're super handy. They're really great to have because they're easy to just stash and have with you. But they have some limitations. You have to be right down at the water source because they're only, so long, 6, 8, however many inches long. So you have to be right down at the water source. And if you want to use it for multiple people, then you have to have multiple people putting their mouth on the same mouthpiece, which, it's better than dying of dysentery or something like that. But so this is the filter part right here, and it attaches to basically the straw, which is a long 2-foot hose. And there's actually two 2-foot pieces, so you can actually make it up to 4 feet long. It has a mouthpiece, so you would put the filter down into the water source, and with the long straw, as opposed to a short straw, you can put this, you don't have to be right down at the water source. You could hang it even over the side of a canoe or something like that, or a raft. And you could get the water because you can extend it up to 4 feet long. It has a mouthpiece that stays covered up that you can uncover, and you can drink directly through the filter. But it also comes with this pump, which is like a squeeze pump that can be used to actually pump the water through. Here is a picture of that being done. So you could fill another container, you could fill someone else's water bottle, you could share the water with someone, you could use it for washing up or something like that. So, and you can see that it removes, bacteria, viruses, parasites and things like that. And it's just really kind of cool sort of, I think it's the best of both worlds. It's small and portable, kind of like the life straws, but it's got a little bit more functionality. So I thought this was really, really cool and something I would like to give a try. And then back here, I've got a few buckets. I've already put it into buckets. It comes in paper sacks, but I've got some wheat. So I've got whole wheat berries now. Whole wheat berries is really the way to go when it comes to preparedness, because not only do they store a lot longer than ground flour, they're going to store, at least probably 30 years if you store them properly, but they're much more versatile. So you can grind them into flour, but you can also sprout them. You can also, grow them. You can also cook them just like a grain, kind of like you would cook rice or something like that. You can make a pilaf or a cereal or anything like that. So they're very, very versatile, and they hold on to all of the nutrition, because once you grind wheat, within a couple of days, it's basically lost all of the nutrition that it had. So it's best to get whole wheat berries, and then to store them in a bucket or a jar, Mylar bags, however you want to store them. The other thing I have here is bulgur, which is another form of wheat. It's cracked wheat, basically. And what I love about bulgur for prepping is it has a ton of fiber, just like whole wheat. But instead of having to cook it for, a long time to soften like you would with whole wheat berries, you can actually just soak it in boiling water for a little bit. Just pour some boiling water over it, let it set, and it becomes completely soft and edible. It's kind of like rice. I make a salad out of it all the time. You can do pilafs. You can do all kinds of things. Anything you would do with rice, really, you could do with this. Rice, couscous, quinoa, any of those. It's very similar to those. Right now, it's really important to be stocking up on wheat products because, number one, that is a basis of most people's diet. But also, they just released like the forecast for wheat for the coming year, and it's really, really pretty bad. Like, they're forecasting the lowest wheat supply basically that we've had since the 1970s. So it's something that's going to be in short supply, and that always causes prices to rise as well as availability to be harder. So it's definitely something that you want to think on and get ahead of right now if you are able. Now, I think the best place to get some of these items where I like to get them in bulk is Azure Standard. So if you shop Azure, you can go and look for these. You can get them usually up to a 50-pound bag. You can get them in smaller quantities too if you want. If you don't shop Azure, I'm going to put a link down below. It's an amazing, amazing store. You're going to see, I love sharing these amazing places with so much variety. But it's a really great place to get your whole wheat berries, to get things like bulgur, things like rice, dry beans, all sorts of dry goods in bulk that you can package up yourself. And it's just basically like a gigantic health food store online with really good prices. And when it comes to whole wheat, you've got several different choices. There's hard red wheat, hard white wheat, soft white wheat. And then there's other kind of like heirloom wheat berries that a lot of people like to use as well. And it basically is going to mean the difference between getting like a like a dark regular whole wheat bread or a white whole wheat bread or a pastry flour, the type of flour you're going to get from it. And of course, if you are storing whole wheat berries, you're going to want to make sure that you have a wheat grinder, and having a manual option as well is really important for grid down situations. Next, I've got some freeze-dried Swiss cheese here. If you do not have freeze-dried cheese in your prepper pantry, you are absolutely missing out, because this is real cheese and it's just freeze-dried so that it can last 25 years. And there's not a lot of other ways to have cheese if you're a cheese lover like we are. And of course, there's lots of different types of cheese you can get freeze-dried. This is Swiss. I wanted this for a meal in a jar. I specifically wanted Swiss, and I wanted to make sure I had plenty on hand. And that's what I love about this company, honestly, is a lot of companies it's one thing I love about them. A lot of companies you have to order like $100, $99, $100. Sometimes it's $129 now to get free shipping, but this company has free shipping on every order. So if I just need one thing, or if you want to try one thing, you just want to make a quick order, you can do it, and you don't have to worry about adding up to a certain amount for free shipping. Another thing I love is that it's all made in the USA. It's all comes from the USA. They don't even get any food from anywhere else. If it's grown, has to be grown, raised, harvested, everything in the USA, freeze-dried in the USA. So it's a really great company. I do have a coupon code for you, Wicked Prepared, that you can use if you ever want to place an order here. Use that coupon for an extra % off. And like I said, free shipping all the time. I will have a link down below and on the screen if you want to check it out, because this is another absolutely amazing store. You will be amazed at the variety they have. Go check it out. They have so many different kinds of meats and seafood and veggies and fruits and cheeses, so many different kinds of cheeses. It's just absolutely amazing. And of course, it just has all the benefits of any freeze-dried food, meaning it's going to last a really long time, usually about 25 years. Even in these Mylar bags, these are Mylar bags that are meant for long-term storage. This window is not a separate window that's pasted on that has a seam. There's never a seam. It's just a part of the bag where the color is left out, the color layer. So it doesn't affect the integrity of the bag at all. That's something I used to worry about until I learned. And now I really, really appreciate the bags. They store pretty easily in boxes, and you never get a dented bag like you can with a dented can. So I absolutely love getting the variety of food you can get in these bags. And I have got some more goodies back here. These are number 10 cans. So these are gallon cans. What I've got is I've got 2 non-GMO quick oats, and I have got a instant milk. This is a really, really good milk. It's very tasty. There's a lot of different choices in instant milk powders, and some of them taste better than others. So you want to make sure that you get one that you like. And then I've got some freeze-dried cranberries. These are all number 10 cans. And then this actually all came as a bundle. So this is a May sale bundle. And I always like to grab what's on sale for that month. That is one thing that's great about building a prepper pantry, is it really allows you to control your spending. You're not buying something because you need it right at that moment. You're buying for the future, so you can buy things when they're on sale and you can control your spending that way. It just allows you to get better deals, and then you'll have the things when you need them and you'll know you spent less for them. But so this, if you can't guess the theme, is a breakfast bundle with the oats, the milk, and then it also came with, this is really, really exciting. This is not a number 10 can. So this is what's called a pantry can. It's more like a quart compared to the gallon cans, the gallon number 10 cans. But this is shelf stable scrambled egg mix. So this is really, really good scrambled eggs. I will actually cook these up some at the end of the video to show you how these are, but they are, non-GMO and all of that. These are really, really just the only ingredient in these is eggs, and they've got a 7-year shelf life, which is really, really important. So this is part of this breakfast bundle. So it completes this breakfast bundle because, of course, eggs for breakfast. One thing I love about these coming in this smaller can is a lot of times egg products, like shelf-stable egg products, can be pretty expensive if they come in a number 10 can. So when anything comes in the smaller can, it gives more access to more people to be able to try it out because the price is lower, because the size is smaller. And then people also aren't worried about having too much to use up when it's open. If it's something they've never tried before and they're not sure they'll like it, they can get the small can. Now this makes a liquid egg, like a liquid raw egg, and then you cook it. So it's not like freeze-dried already cooked scrambled eggs, because those pretty much never come out very good. So this is just, you cook them yourself. And so they're really, really good. And the other good thing is that there's no risk of salmonella with these. So if you like to put egg in your smoothie for protein, or if you like to eat the raw cookie dough or you have kids or grandkids who do, this is a really great product to use. Of course, it also makes sure that you will have eggs whenever you need them, no matter what the situation. Eggs are something that's very, very volatile in our food supply. The supply is volatile, the availability is volatile, the price is volatile. So it's really important to secure a good supply of that in your home that you can control. Even if you have chickens or ducks or quail or anything like that, they're very volatile in themselves. There's a lot of risks to that. There's risks of disease, there's risks of predators, there's risks of humans who could do something to them or steal them, because they're really not that much in your control. So it's always good to have backups. A great place to go to check out all of our favorite tasted, tested, and trusted freeze-dried food sources, as well as get current coupon and discount codes and sales, things like that, is tryfreezedried.com. So head on over and check that out and bookmark it, because it gets updated often and it is one simple, easy to remember resource. You can even sign up right on the page to get notifications when something big is happening. And don't forget to sign up for sale and coupon alerts through text. Just text alert to the number on the screen and you will get a text message sent right to your phone whenever there's a big sale or a new coupon code. That way you won't miss out on any deals. And next up here, this is something for water storage. So this is a water treatment for when you're storing water. If you're storing water in larger containers, you don't want to have to rotate it that often, because it's just a pain in the rear end when it's a larger container. So this can make your stored water last longer, up to 5 years. So this is a really good product to have if you're storing water. And then I got a couple clearance things that I found at Walmart. So this is just a fire smoke alarm. I feel like you can never have too many of these. I want to replace a lot of the ones in our house because they are getting older and you're supposed to replace them, I think, every 10 years. You want to make sure that you're always covered, and especially in an emergency, if you are using indoor, sort of emergency heaters, emergency stoves, candles, things like that, you want to make sure that you're covered. So I was really happy to find a deal on this. This is the photoelectric type that catches the slow smoldering fires. That was a big thing a while back. So check your clearance section at your Walmart and your other stores. You never know what they're going to be clearing out, especially seasonal stuff. I also grabbed this little thermos food cup. These are great for emergencies in the winter, so you can help keep liquid or foods hot. This one is specifically made for food. You could put liquids in it. It could also keep things cold if you wanted to have like a pasta salad or something, but I love to have things like these, and we use them not just for emergencies, but it's good to have them for emergencies. And these can be really expensive, so I was glad to find this one on sale. Next, I got a couple of battery banks, and this is the brand that I usually use. I love these. They're 10,000 milliamp hours. I think that's what that stands for, but I use these all the time. They come in a lot of different colors. What I love about them is that they have cables for anything you would need to charge. It's got the USB-C, but also the USB, the micro USB, and the iPhone type of cable, the old iPhone. So there's lots of different options, but it also has the built-in prong for charging. So you really don't need anything else. This is all you need, and it's nice and slender and portable and easy to use. And so I use these for travel, and I like to keep them with me in my car. Anytime I'm out and about, it gives me anyways more than one full charge on my phone. And this is the same idea, same size, 10,000 milliamp hours, and same idea. It's got the little prongs for charging. It's got the different ends. It's missing one of the two types of ends. It only has two, not three like the other one. But some of those don't get used that often anymore. But I bought this one because it was basically the same idea, but a little cheaper because it's a different brand. And so I wanted to test it out. I needed a new power bank because mine always seem to be disappearing. I don't know if I lose them. I think it's my teenagers more than it is myself. But, they always seem to be going missing. So I always need to get a new one, every year or so. And we were taking a trip, so I thought I would get two to sort of test out. But what I found is that the cheaper one, even though it has the same amount of power, holds the same amount of power, it was bigger, it was bulkier, it didn't have as nice of a feel. It just wasn't as pleasing for the price difference that it wasn't that much cheaper. I'm sure that it works just fine, but it was just a little bit bulkier, a little bit heavier. So I still love my Charmast. Now over here, I've got some different things from the Wellness ShopClub. We shop every month. We have a membership. We shop every month. Membership gives really big discounts usually. And this, we've got some interesting stuff because there's some brand new stuff. So these are brand new products. We were really excited. We actually went to a conference where they were introducing these products and some other products. And so we learned a lot about them. So this is just a toothpaste, but the difference is this is a fluoride-free toothpaste because a lot of people are trying to avoid added fluoride in their toothpaste and in their, water, things like that. So you need to do your own research and decide how you feel about that. But what this has is it has hydroxyapatite, which is something that can help rebuild the enamel of your teeth. And then this one is something that I honestly had never even really thought about before, but it's actually a probiotic mint because we know about probiotics for our gut and for our digestion and for a lot of, the good that it does in our body. But it's actually really important for your whole digestive system, which obviously starts in your mouth. So there's actually also a balance of bacteria and different organisms in your mouth that you really want to keep in a healthy balance. And so getting a probiotic into your mouth is actually really important for your oral health. And then from there, your whole digestive health goes on from there because it starts in your mouth. So this is something that you would put in your mouth after brushing. It has the probiotics that will, keep your oral kind of microbiome healthy and balanced, which is really important. And then it also has some mushroom extract, which is supposed to be for a plant-derived ingredient that provides natural polyphenols and beta-glucans to support oral freshness after meals. So I was super excited about this new product. This is something that we never even really thought about before, and this is going to be really awesome. A little more dental and oral care stuff back here. This is going to be kind of like the dental oral care edition, I guess. But honestly, your oral hygiene and your care of your teeth is really important for emergencies. Just like your health, your physical health, it's important before and during a disaster, a situation, any kind of collapse, any kind of just downturn. Because number one, you want to make sure that your teeth, your mouth, your body, your health, everything is in top condition, because if something does go south, and even if it's just like a personal thing, like even if you lose your job and maybe you lose your insurance or something like that, you can't afford care. There's a lot of different things that could happen, but you want to make sure that your teeth, your mouth, your body, and everything is in good shape so that going into a situation, you're in a better position. Because depending on the situation, there may not be, medical care, dental care, things like that available, or they might be just very backed up and unavailable, or you may not be able to afford them. There's a lot of different situations. So you want to make sure that you keep your stuff in top condition, and then you have everything you need to try to keep things in good shape during a situation, an emergency situation, a long-term scenario, anything like that. Try to keep things in good condition and to be able to treat and deal with any problems that arise on your own if it comes down to that. So these are a couple of essential oil mouth rinses. So, all just more natural ingredients and things like that. And we actually learned something really interesting at this conference when they were talking about the dental care. We learned something that surprised a lot of people about the way you care for your teeth and the order that you do things. So I don't know about you, but usually my thing would be brush teeth, then floss, then mouthwash. Never had probiotic mints before, but what we learned is that you start with mouthwash to kind of loosen things from your teeth, from your gums, from in between your teeth. Then you floss to clean out the spaces between your teeth, obviously. And then you brush to brush away all of that got loosened and pulled out and things like that. And then, of course, finishing with probiotic mints. I thought that was interesting. A lot of people thought that was interesting. So we all came home with just a different idea of brushing our teeth. So these products were all from Wellness ShopClub. And then I've got these up here. So there's more dental care. Like I said, there was more dental care. These are from a different place, but they're all related to oral care. And this is something I had never seen before. So these, there is a couple different disposable tongue scrapers, tongue cleaners. If you have not been cleaning your tongue, it is life-changing. Like I learned that a long time ago when I got my first tongue cleaner, tongue scraper. If you clean your tongue before bed, you just wake up with so much of a fresher feeling mouth. It's good for just bad breath and just that nastiness that you can get in your mouth, I guess. So And I've never seen disposable tongue cleaners. And so I thought this was really kind of cool. I don't use disposable things regularly, but I do like to have them for traveling, number one, for, you know, maybe emergencies like keeping in your car and things. Remember, emergency doesn't always mean the end of the world. An emergency could mean you got stuck somewhere an extra night. You got stuck somewhere overnight that you didn't plan on having to be. So it's always good to have stuff in your car. So I thought I would try these out, see how they work, you know, see if there's something we'd like to add to our travel supplies and our, you know, kits in our car and things like that. And then the other one is I've seen things like this before. This is just a pre-pasted toothbrush. And it has the flosser built in on the end. What I like about this is that these are all individually wrapped. And so a lot of the ones that you can get, like the Wisps, they're not individually wrapped. So I like things to be individually wrapped when I can. So I thought I would give these a try. Once again, same reasoning as these other things, just not to use every day, obviously, but just to have, you know, with you in case you need it. Just a quick touch up, like in the car, things like that. Good to be prepared for every day. And then we still had some more products here that were from the Shop Club. So this is another new product. We were really excited about these. So these are wagon wheels, which they're basically like jerky, but they're like formed into round shapes. And they're just supposed to be a lot more tender and easy to chew than traditional jerky. And they have them in 2 different flavors. So there is original and sweet heat, which is awesome. So this is the regular jerky. It's just like pieces of meat. And then the wagon wheels are the round, and these are made. We love the beef that we get. We get a monthly box of beef from here, and it's never ever had hormones or antibiotics, and it's all raised on U.S. ranches, processed, packaged, everything in the U.S., which is awesome. But I'm excited about the new wagon wheels, and they also have beef sticks. We got some beef sticks. This is a good way to have shelf-stable, not long-term shelf-stable, like freeze-dried or canned, but just some shelf-stable protein source that's easy to eat, easy to snack on. You don't have to cook it or anything like that. So we do like having this stuff around in our prep. Snacks are really important. Portable snacks that you can have, you know, stick it in your bug-out bag, stick it in your car. Just make sure that you are rotating those out, you know, every year or so. Then back here, we've got a few more things. We get these things often because these are things that we use all the time and we want to make sure we're not without them, but we also use them daily. So this is our GC Control Shake that we use that is really good for, it's absolutely been magical for me, to be honest, and for Mr. Wicked Prepared too. I use the cinnamon roll. He likes the strawberry. It's really, really good for cutting down on my cravings. It helps control your blood sugar. Once I learned how to use it properly, and take it before a meal and not use it like a protein shake or a meal replacer. It has some protein, but it's not really, that's not the purpose of it. It's a blood sugar control and craving control, and it works really, really well. So it's only like 100 calories and it's got a whole bunch of fiber. There's the calories. It's got 10 grams of fiber, and I have just one shake before lunch. And that's when I have mine. Just, you're supposed to have it right before a meal. I have mine before lunch, and it really makes it so I get through the whole afternoon and get to dinner without feeling hungry. So we are really, really motivated right now to just get healthy, get in shape, lose a little bit of weight. And we are joining a weight loss challenge. It's kind of more like a healthy lifestyle challenge, or like a reset, kind of a reset your metabolism challenge. But we're going to do it. If anybody's interested in doing that along with us, then let me know. I will have a link down below where you can find out more about that. I'm really excited to do that. So we're gearing up for it. I'm going to order, these are actually on sale this month. So I'm going to be ordering probably a bunch more. That's how we like to do things. Order it when it's on sale and order extra when it's on sale, so we don't have to buy it for regular price. And speaking of things being on sale, I know a lot of folks watching over the years have signed up for my text alerts for sales and discounts, new product info, things like that, for all things freeze-dried food. Which, if you haven't done that yet, you can text alert or insider to my number here on the screen. But I've also had a lot of people in the comments, people messaging me, saying that they're having a hard time keeping track of all of the items that go on special through the Shop Club. A lot of these deals come and go pretty quickly, and I've seen quite a few times that a product will go on sale and then they'll run out of them long before the end of the month. And there's nothing worse than missing out on a good deal. Well, you spoke and I listened. So we just recently started a similar text alert service for those products that we are buying from the Shop Club. So if you want me to keep you updated, just text the word wellness to my number here. You'll notice I have 2 different numbers. And this one is different from the one for the freeze-dried food, but they're both my numbers. Your texts come straight to me personally. Those two numbers are just to help me keep things organized on my end. And also, if you have any questions or anything, just text me at that number and we can chat. This store has something like 500 products and they always have something different on special. So you can save a bunch on things that you stock up on or things that you use every day. You really actually end up spending less than you would for name brands at Walmart and Target and places like that. You get better products that are made in America, and they even have a 90-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. I mean, if you went and tried out a new Colgate toothpaste at Walmart or like a Dove deodorant from Target and you went to return it after you'd already used half of it, you'd probably get laughed at. But with the wellness store, if you try something, anything, you don't love it, customer service will go above and beyond to make you happy and give you a refund. They're pretty amazing. But if you have any questions, feel free to text me and I can give you all the details and keep you updated on sales, promotions, new product launches, and all the things. And then a couple more things that are really, really important for, our just sort of healthy living and weight loss routine. We've got our Fiberwise. This is amazing for Mr. Wicked Prepare to use the berry. I just use the all-purpose, which is not flavored, and most people don't just drink it plain, but I do because I just want to avoid like the one extra carb that's in the flavored. But it's amazing, amazing for gut health. It's got so many different forms of fiber, probiotics, prebiotics, botanical ingredients for your gut health, just all kinds of stuff. It's absolutely been completely like life-changing for both of us. So this is something that's a good part of our routine. It also kind of fills you up when you have this drink before shortly before a meal. So like I said, we got a bunch because we got a good deal on them. And then one other thing that I'm going to have is, this is something new to me, creatine. I always thought this was just for like the workout boys, like, the muscle boys in the gym. And I just got curious and I looked it up and I did some research and I asked, is there any purpose for creatine for women over 40 who don't really work out? And I found that there's so many benefits for women as they get older because it helps with your bone density. It helps with keeping your muscle mass that tends to, drop when you get older. It helps with cognitive function. It helps with memory. It helps with, just kind of focus and all of that. There's so many benefits that I found to it. It's actually really pretty amazing. So I've just recently started adding this into my daily routine. And this is pure creatine. So it's not like a drink mixed with a lot of other things, which is what you want. It works really well with keto and low carb. Pure creatine. And this actually, I think because it's pure and it's not like, doesn't have a bunch of other things in it and flavors and stuff, it's really, really, I was surprised at how inexpensive I got this. And I don't want to forget about this. I also got this Harvest Pure Fruit and Vegetable Wash. We use this all the time. This stuff is amazing. It takes so much stuff off of the fruits and vegetables. You wouldn't believe the stuff that's on there. So I wanted to make sure this little bottle actually lasts forever because you only use a little cap full, but I use it a lot. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of this on hand. I did a demonstration with this recently, I think, so I'm not going to do it again right now, but I'll try to link to it down below so you can see the kind of amazing way that this works. And next I got some canned ground beef. This is Keystone ground beef, and these are the larger cans. This is not freeze-dried, it's just regular canned ground beef. So these are the 28-ounce cans, and I got a dozen of them. And honestly, that is because they were on sale by the case, because that's a pretty big purchase right there, a case of canned meat, because meat is expensive. It's going to be the biggest bite out of your food budget usually. And beef is, and it's kind of similar to the situation with the wheat. Right now, our beef supply in this country is at the absolute lowest it's been in a very long time, which means prices are going up. They're going to continue to go up. They've been going up. So anytime you can get a deal on beef, you need to grab it, and shelf-stable beef especially. So these were on sale by the case. So I did get a case. I do use a lot of these. I probably use more than most people because I am usually testing recipes, to make shelf-stable meal in a bag recipes and things like that to share. So I do go through a lot of this, but I'll have a link down below to where I get it, because you can also get it by the single can. It's a lot more manageable that way. Usually I get a can or two at a time, but this was a deal I couldn't pass up because you can actually order it straight from Keystone, but the prices on Walmart.com are actually usually the same or better than the Keystone site itself, and you have to pay shipping through Keystone, so it's actually better to buy it through Walmart. So I'll have a link down below to what I get. Now, I don't think this deal is going on any longer. If it is, I'll put it on the screen, But if you want to keep up on deals like this that might pass quickly, I have a Facebook group, Wicked Prepared Prepping Deals and Steals, and that's where I post things like this if I come across them. Because this one, I posted it and it went out of stock really pretty quickly, but it kept coming back and coming back in stock. So I think a lot of people were able to get this deal. Now I've got a few seasonings. So there's a street corn seasoning here. I absolutely love Mexican street corn. We make a street corn pasta salad. There's street corn dip. There's all sorts of things. So I am always trying different street corn seasoning mixes. And this is one I haven't tried before. And then I've also got taco seasoning. This I have bought before. I buy my taco seasoning in bulk because we use a lot of it. I think this is a super handy seasoning. Like if you had to have just a few seasonings, I think taco would be a really good one to have because you can do so much with it, and everybody loves tacos and taco flavored everything. We make casseroles, soups, not just tacos, salads, all sorts of things. But this is, I usually just get whatever is the best deal at the time. And next I've got some freeze-dried fruit. I've got a whole bunch of freeze-dried fruit here. It's not all here because I didn't really have room on the table because there's a really good deal going on right now. They're having a buy more, save more sale. So like the more you buy, the more you put in your cart, the more you can save, the higher percent you can save. So freeze-dried fruits, of course, these are in bags and these are really going to last probably about 4-year shelf life on these, but that's okay. Like you should be rotating through your food. You don't necessarily need a 25, 30-year shelf life on everything. These are nice, stiff, durable bags. So these are some of my family's favorites, and these are fruits that we would not be able to grow ourselves or not very easily or most of the year. Anyways, if we weren't able to get them from the store. So I like to make sure we have these in our shelf-stable pantry. So freeze-dried banana, I've got mango. These are really good. A lot of strawberries. We could grow strawberries here, but only for a very short period of the year. And we wouldn't be able to preserve them very well if we didn't have, if we were in a bad situation. So, and the kids absolutely love to snack on these. I got lots of strawberries, freeze-dried coconut. This is so amazing. Mr. Wicked Prepared loves this. It's not sweetened, so it's not like sweetened coconut. It's just coconut. It's really good, and it's actually really healthy. Coconut is really healthy for you. So I got a ton of these. Another good thing that you can use freeze-dried fruit for besides snacking, you can use it in smoothies. You can use it in baking if you want to make pies or quick breads or anything like that. You can use them in that, and especially during emergency situations, you would have access to these. But you can also use these for natural food coloring, which is really awesome. Like not like banana wouldn't give much color. Coconut obviously wouldn't give any color because it's white, but something like the strawberries can be a really, really good natural color and flavoring. The mango would work. They have raspberries, blueberries, a lot of dragon fruit gives an amazing bright pink color. A lot of you just powder them up and you can add them into frostings and pancakes and muffins, any place where you want cakes, any place where you want coloring like that, but you don't want the artificial stuff. And another thing I like about these bags, they're a little bit smaller, so if you don't want to have like a whole number 10 can of fruit open at one time, or you're just trying things out, you're not sure how you would like it, you're not sure how your kids or your grandkids would like it, these are really, really great to grab. Now I've got another snack back here. I've got a bunch of these because it was cheaper in the multi-pack. I love my sugar-free dark chocolate covered almonds. It's like my favorite sweet treat, but I wanted something a little bit different and more summery, so I thought I would try these. So these are lemon skinny dipped almonds, 5 grams of sugar. They're probably a little bit more than the dark chocolate sugar-free ones that I get, but I thought they would be a good thing to try just for something a little different. Nuts are really good for the prepper pantry. They're very nutritionally dense and calorically dense, and you do have to rotate them out a little bit more often because they don't last super long, but they last for a while, and it's really important to have snacks and nutritionally dense foods in your prepper pantry. Back here, I've got a few more things. Like I said, we were going to be going on a sort of a health and weight loss, sort of just healthy kind of journey that we are both going to be committing to, Mr. Wicked Prepared and I, because we know that we'll both stick. I can do really good sometimes, but sticking with it when things get busy and stressful, that's when I have a hard time. So we're going to do it together so that we can kind of keep each other accountable and have more fun doing it. But so these are a few things that we got for the challenge. The Smart Body tape measure, it's really just like measuring yourself with a regular flexible tape measure, but this one, instead of having to be able to see and write down where the measurements are, This one actually digitally does it, and it'll save it all, and it sends it to an app on your phone so you can keep track of that stuff. Because I do well. I know they say you shouldn't weigh yourself all the time, measure yourself, but I do well when I can see progress. That motivates me. Or if I can see the other way, if things are going badly, that allows me to catch it in time and be like, okay, I need to shape it up because this is not going well. So this, and then a digital scale, which is sort of the same idea. It sends it to an app and kind of keeps track of it for you, but it's not like, it's not like you need any of this stuff, but I kind of needed a new scale anyways, and this really was no more expensive than regular scale. And then back here kind of makes me feel old and dated, but we were looking for easy, inexpensive ways to be able to exercise, if it's bad weather out or things like that. And so this is like a step aerobic step. I haven't seen one of these in so long. This takes me back to my younger days, but it can be pretty efficient just to step up and down on something if you need some exercise. And like I said, it's really, really important to be healthy. And I think that weight and nutrition are two of the biggest things that are that cause health problems in us Americans, honestly. Having too much weight on and having poor nutrition causes so many problems. And I saw something recently that said the biggest frugal habit that most people don't do is taking care of your health. And really that's so important because it's going to cost us so much more down the road if we don't take care of our health. Now, this is some Judy's sour cream powder. I love Judy's sour cream powder, but what I'm upset about is I didn't even realize how small this bag was. I needed to replace some of my stock. This was the only bag that was available, and this is even smaller than the bag I usually get. And I can't even find it anywhere. I can't find the Judy's sour cream. I actually emailed them and asked them. They said it would be back, but they didn't really give a reason for why. Their sour cream powder is pretty hard to find right now. So I used to love Thrive Life sour cream powder. Of course, they are gone now. We can't get that anymore. I came to love Judy's. I've tried Hoosier Hill Farms. I did not love their sour cream powder. It had a very tangy flavor that it wasn't interchangeable with other brands in my recipes. Not to say anything bad about that company. I like a lot of their other things, just not their sour cream powder. So I'm really, really hoping that this becomes available again soon, because I use it in a lot of different meals in a jar and things like that. It's just a really handy shelf-stable ingredient to have around. And then I got some things down here. So this is a packet of beef. It's in a packet instead of a can or anything like that. So it's got liquid in here and beef. It actually, I don't feel a ton of beef. I feel more liquid. So I'm going to probably open this up and try it out at the end of this video, and we'll see what it's like inside. But I do like I've tried other meats from this brand and other brands that have meat in pouches and been happy with it. So I wanted to get this one. And now I've got some of these Knorr sides, but this is cilantro lime. I never saw this before. I never knew that they had cilantro lime flavor. I am obsessed with cilantro lime everything, and I like cilantro lime rice. So I thought I would try this version and see. It's always good to have some easy side dishes like this that you can even punch these up a little bit with some canned or freeze-dried meats and vegetables. I've put these in casseroles, all sorts of different things, but it's just good to have something super easy. It calls just for water and olive oil, and you could even skip the olive oil if you needed to. Simmer just for 7 minutes. You don't need to drain it. These are great to have on hand for emergencies. Not necessarily the healthiest option, but you can add some veggies to it. You can serve it as part of a meal. Just something easy and inexpensive is really good to have on hand. I can't wait to try this out and see how this flavor is in the Knorr. Then I got a couple more of these Annie Chun's. These are the peanut satay. They have a bunch of different flavors of these Asian noodle bowls. They're so good. My kids love them. I don't really eat noodles, but if I did, I would love them because I have tried them and they're delicious. They are microwave product, but you can also cook them in a pan if it's an emergency and you don't have power. I've done that super, super easy. In fact, the noodles are kind of already cooked and they're in a packet, so they're not like hard, dry ramen noodles. So they really just need mostly to be heated. Now back here, I've got a case of emergency drinking water. So these are, I've got a bottle here to show you like the size. It's about a pint. And these are really, really strong, durable, bacteria-free, guaranteed 20-year bacteria-free. And I started buying these cases recently because I realized that we need a portable source of water, and we were buying the little crinkly drinking water bottles, but we don't use those that much anymore. And so they weren't getting rotated enough and they were starting to leak and it was just wasteful. So I said, I'd rather pay a little bit more for something that's going to last and that I don't have to worry about rotating, because we're not using, and the hard, durable, thick plastic like this bottle is made out of is much less likely to put off microplastics and chemicals and things like that than the smaller crinkly water bottles or the more flexible plastics. So I just decided I would rather spend money on something that's going to last, even if it's a little bit more expensive. So I usually get at least one case a month. This actually comes from the same store where I get, all of this stuff here and the egg crystals and all of that stuff. And so I'm able to put it on one subscribe and save order that I could just change up every month, but I always keep at least one case of water on it. And it's one of those things where if you just do it slowly and steadily over time, you look back pretty quickly and you're surprised at how much you've built up over just a short amount of time. I've also got some more nuts back here. These are hazelnuts in a big, big bag. We eat a lot of nuts here. I love nuts. And like I said, we try to keep a good supply, advanced supply, at least several months worth of nuts on hand at all times. Lots of different kinds of nuts. This cheese, this is kind of like Velveeta in that it's like a block of pasteurized processed cheese, but this is a different brand. And this is like a sharp white American. It's funny because I heard it called for in a recipe recently, and I had never heard of it before, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing it everywhere. Isn't it funny how that happens? So I got this to try, probably in that recipe that I saw, but lots of different things I could try this in. I know that this processed kind of cheese is not the healthiest, but everything in moderation is what I always say. Next, this is some of those bag clips, like for your bags of food that are open, like chip bags, and it's these kind of clips that I really like these. They clip it really tightly. I needed some more of these, and I used to be able to get these at Walmart, ones like these in kind of like a pack with a bunch of the other kind of clips. Haven't found them in a long time, and I really needed some. So I got 2 packs that's all this kind of clip because I really like this kind of clip. They work really well. They're pretty compact. They don't stick all over your drawer. They're just really kind of good to have. So I got 2 packs of these. Keep stuff fresh after it's opened. This right here, this is a pet thing. So this is a gel. It's like a high calorie gel for dogs and cats. So if you have a dog or cat that's, needs to gain some weight or something like that, we like to be prepared for our pets as well. Food, water, first aid supplies, all of that kind of stuff, everything to keep them healthy if we weren't able to get them vet care or if things go south. So this is something that's kind of an important thing to have on hand if you have pets in their kind of first aid kit. So definitely don't forget about your fur babies. And next I've got a lot of sort of snacky things here. Like I said, it's important to have snacks in your prepper pantry. These are shelf stable things. These are things that we will eat. Some of these I'm just trying out. I love marinated mushrooms, but they're so expensive. So I've got 2 different kinds here, and you can see how different they look. This one has a lot more bits in it, and this one has a lot less bits. So I'm going to open both of these up and taste test them and see which one is better. I don't know why marinated mushrooms are so expensive, but I do love them. Then I've got this pickled okra. That I want to try. I've been seeing all these Tiffany plates, these plates of just sort of girl dinner kind of dinners with all different stuff, and they have sometimes pickled okra. So I wanted to try this. I've never tried pickled okra. It looks like it might be spicy, so I'm hoping it's not too spicy for me. And then another thing I see on those is hearts of palm, and I have been looking all over. Hearts of palm is hard to find. Let me know if you have a good source for hearts of palm, because I keep hearing that I'd never tried this before, and people keep comparing it to artichoke hearts, which I love to death, one of my favorite foods, and people compare it to a seafood substitute, a vegetarian seafood substitute, because of the texture, and I love seafood. So I'm thinking I'm going to like these, but I have never tried them, and everybody says the ones in glass jars are much better than the ones in cans. I think I could probably find the cans around here, but I wanted to try the glass jars, and I don't even want to tell you how much I paid for these 2 glass jars because I wanted to try it. But I figured I would try the glass jars once, and then I will try the cans if I can get those more easily and just compare. So that I have something to compare it to. But I'm hoping I can find a better, easier source for this that's less expensive. So if anybody knows, let me know. I'm thinking maybe some kind of an ethnic market, maybe an Asian market or a South American or something like that, but we don't really have stuff like that around here. So I don't know if I do like these. I don't know what I'll do. But I did also find this other brand, which is a smaller jar, that's also a jar. And then I did find this bag of sliced. They're sliced. I'd rather have the long ones. But so I'm going to try all these and see if I like them, see what ones we like better. My daughter wants to try them too. In fact, maybe I will try these for you guys here at the end of the video. Couple other things I got. This is a sweet soy glaze. I just stumbled across this. I love to have different condiments and things. You can spice up your meals so much with condiments, and that's really important in your prepper pantry because you want to make sure you're not going to get food fatigue. I don't know. I'm sure this says refrigerate after opening. I never refrigerate like soy sauce. I'm thinking this would be okay unrefrigerated, but I'm not sure. And then I got some fig jams. So this is interesting because I saw a recipe for an appetizer that looked really good. I've got a couple more of these over here. And it used, I've seen it two ways. One has Boursin cheese and the other way has Alouette cheese spread, which is very similar. But it has that spread down and then the fig jam over it and then chopped pistachios over that. And then one of them had hot honey drizzled over it. So that looked really good and I really wanted to try that. So I got some fig jams, which I'd never gotten before. I got a no sugar added one that'll be good for me. And this was one that got really good reviews that's not no sugar added. And then this one I think is a, what was, now I don't remember. I think it was a chili fig jam. But what happened with these, this one came with no label, which I think is probably actually illegal for them to send something with no label. So I contacted them and they refunded my money, but I know what it is because I know what I ordered. So I'll probably be brave and try it anyways. And then this one was a 2-pack. And one of them was, the lid was dented and the seal was broken. So I contacted them and they refunded the whole amount, even though one jar was fine. So that was kind of good. I got these for free. Always, 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 contact the store if you get something that's damaged or not what you expected because you paid for a new, undamaged product. If I'm buying things that are dented and, have problems, then it's because I'm getting a discount on them. So when you pay full price, have them make it right if something comes damaged. And then I've got a box of these crackers. We've been buying, like I said, you always want to have snack foods. Crackers don't last as long as a lot of other foods, maybe a year or two. You just need to rotate them. But these are actually really good. I'd never seen these before. I got them for my daughter to try and she really liked them. And I tried them. Like I don't really eat crackers, but I tried them. They are super tasty. So if you've never seen these before, they are pretty good. All right, there are some of these items that are new or new to me that I am dying to taste or try out, so let's get started. All right, the first thing I want to try out is I want to try out this cilantro lime rice mix, and this has to cook. So I'm going to get this started cooking, and then while this is cooking, there's a bunch of other things that I want to try that don't actually need any cooking. So we'll do that while we're waiting on the rice to be done. And then I did also promise that I would try out the egg crystals, these shelf-stable scrambled egg crystals, and show you how these work. So let's get started. All right, so while that rice is cooking, I'm going to try some of these things. I'm going to try these wagon wheels jerky, the original and the sweet heat. And I'm going to try all of these sort of appetizer-y things. I want to taste these two different marinated mushrooms. You can see how different they look just in the jar. These pickled okra. I want to try this hearts of palm. I'm super curious about what this is going to be like. I want to try this beef in the pouch, mostly just to see how much meat is actually in there because it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot. It feels like a lot of broth and not a lot of meat. And I'm going to try these lemon dipped almonds. And then last but not least, I'm going to try these probiotic mints. I am super, super curious to see how these are. I'm going to be adding these to my oral care routine. Just want to see how they are. So I'm just going to get me a paper plate. I'm not going to be too fancy here. I've got my little condiment grabber that I can get some of these out with and test this out at the same time. Now for the wagon wheels, I'm not going to need the grabber. I'm just going to take them out with my hands. So I've got an original here and the sweet heat. I can see a little bit of a pepper seed or pepper flake on there. So that's how I'll be able to tell the sweet heat from the regular. And now I want to try these hearts of palm. I'm going to get out one of these. Ooh, it does actually smell slightly seafoody, kind of like that artificial crab meat stuff, which I actually really like. A lot of people wouldn't like that. Next, for these okra pickles. Smell good. And now for the mushrooms. So this is, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. This is just this Polar brand. And you can see they don't have nearly as much noticeable flavorings in the brine. And now this brand, which is actually from BJ's. I don't know how many of you have a BJ's. This one has a lot more flavoring ingredients that I can see throughout it. And now this meat, I think I'm actually going to pour this into a bowl so I can see just how much is in here. That's what it looks like inside. It's kind of icky looking, but there is a little teeny bit of meat that I can scrape out of there still left. But this is basically what came out of that pouch. And I will use this to pick up a little bit and add it to the plate to try. And then the last thing on my little sample smorgasbord is going to be these almonds. Just put a couple of those there to try. All right, so here is my little sample plate. So I'm looking forward to trying all of this stuff. I'm going to start with what might be the least flavorful so that it doesn't get affected by the other things, I guess. So I'm thinking I'm going to try this Hearts of Palm first. I do not know what to expect with this. I don't expect it to be super flavorful. It's good. It's got a little bit of a tang, like a canned artichoke heart would, not the marinated ones, but that's pretty good. It's got an outer part that is a little bit more firm, and then an inner sort of core. It's more tender. It does taste a lot like an artichoke heart, but it is a little bit more difficult to find and pretty expensive. So we'll see if I'm going to be eating a lot more of those. I'm going to try them in a can next. Now that I have this baseline of the glass jar, I'll try them in a can and see if those are easier to find and more affordable, and if they're just as good to eat. I think the beauty in these is the nutrition. So they've got 8 grams of carbs, but 5 grams of fiber, which brings them down to 3 grams of net carbs. So I think that's really, we've got a little vitamin C, a little calcium, some potassium, a little bit of iron. So I think that's in only 36 calories in a serving. So I think the nutrition is where these really shine, since they don't have a whole lot of strong flavor, but it's a pleasant flavor and a pleasant texture. So next I'm going to try the meat, because I think that's going to be pretty mildly flavored as well. That's pretty good. It's just shredded meat. It doesn't have a real strong flavor, but it's salty. It's really pretty good. So the only issue with that is the amount in the bag. I can't remember how much I paid for that, but it's not a huge amount of meat. It would probably be about 2 small servings. I actually looked on the package. It says 3 servings, but they would be pretty small, I think. So, but it tastes good. It would be good in like a sandwich with some barbecue sauce, or thrown in with some gravy. It's pretty decent. So next I'm going to try, let's see, the 2 mushrooms and see which one I like better. I know I love marinated mushrooms. I'm just not sure which of these I will like better. This is the more simple one with not as many ingredients. It's very yummy. Let's try this other one. I actually think I like the more simple one better. If you look at the difference, this is the more simple one, and this is the more, with the more ingredients looking one. It's a little more yellow in color. It's probably just something in the brine, but this has more of a strong, like oregano-y kind of flavor. I actually like this simple one better, and this is the one I got at Walmart, I think. So kind of expensive, but easier to get. All right, next I'm going to try this pickled okra. This is the one. I'm hoping it's not too spicy. It is a little spicy. It is a little spicy, but not too spicy. It's kind of spicy, but it's not like unpleasantly so. Just a little spicier than that, and I probably wouldn't like it, but it's pretty good, and it's not mushy, and it's not slimy. I'm not real familiar with okra. I don't eat a lot of it. I've hardly ever had it in my life, but I feel like I've heard it can be slimy and mushy, but this is not slimy or mushy at all. It's actually very pleasant. Now I'm going to try the Wagon Wheels jerky, so I'll try the original. That's really good and really tender. It's not hard to chew at all like some jerky. It's got a little sweetness to it. It's not like a super salty jerky or spicy. This is a little sweet, has a little sweet. So now let's try the sweet heat, which I'm assuming does have sweetness, but these are super tasty. A little sweet on both of them. The spicy is not super spicy at all. It's less than the okra. Really, really yummy. Would be good for kids who like jerky, because I would be afraid a little kid could choke on jerky that sometimes is harder to chew. These are super tender and easy to chew. Really tasty. All right, now I'm going to try the little lemon almonds. At first taste, I thought I maybe wasn't going to like it. I thought it was going to be a little too tangy. But then you get the sweetness that kind of rushes in after that initial tang. And it's like just a really pleasant balance of tang and sweet. Not overpowering because the coating is really thin. And a little bit of saltiness. Those are really good. If you like lemon stuff, which I do. Especially in the summer. But it's like the tang is on the outside and then you start chewing into it and you get the sort of sweetness into it. Those are super tasty. So honestly, I think everything on my little tasting plate was a hit. I'm going to go with the simpler mushrooms out of those two. I'll eat them both, but I won't buy the other ones probably again. But now let's see how the rice came out and give that a try. All right, here is the cilantro lime rice, the Knorr mix. Once again, I've got my finest china to serve this up on. All right, let's put some in the dish. Smells really good. Let's give it a try. That's tasty. It's very good. It's mild. It's not super limey, but it does have a little bit of a lime flavor and it's good. I like it. It's kind of a rice-a-roni kind of texture. And it is tasty. This is definitely a winner. I would buy this more. It's very good. All right, so last but not least, two things. First, I'm going to mix up these eggs, show you what these look like inside and how these kind of mix up and how they cook up. And then I wanted to try the probiotic mints, but I thought I would save those until after I did all of my eating. Let's get this open. So like I said, these are about a quart-sized jar. They have a nice pop top here. Oops. And so here is what the egg crystals look like inside. Very fine and powdery. And you can see that the only ingredient in here is eggs. So that's all it contains. So there's no preservatives, no additives, no nothing, just eggs. And how this works is it's going to be 2 parts of the egg crystals to 3 parts of water. So for 1 egg, it's 2 tablespoons of the crystals, 3 tablespoons of water, makes about the equivalent of 1, medium-sized egg scrambled. Now 2 tablespoons is the same as 1/8 of a cup. So I use these little measuring cups all the time. Let's even that off. Put it in our little bowl. And now I've got some cold water here. You definitely want to use cold water. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of the cold water and then 1 more tablespoon. So I have 3 tablespoons. Now I've just got a little mini whisk that I can whisk this up with. And this here is the equivalent of 1 egg scrambled up, raw. This is a raw egg. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no risk of salmonella with this. That has been pasteurized out of the egg. And we can cook this. You could use this in cookies. You could use this in a cake mix. You could use this in anything, an omelet, quiche, anything you would need eggs in. I'm just going to fry it up like a scrambled egg so you can kind of see how this works. For this, I'll use my butane stove. Then just a wee little pan because I'm only making 1 egg's worth. I'm just going to give it a little spray of avocado oil. All right, so let's see. I've got my egg here. Now the pan's getting hot. I actually read something the other day that said for the best scrambled eggs, it's actually best to put the eggs into the pan cold and then slowly bring it up to heat. I forgot about that though, so I did heat this pan a little bit. You can see it's just starting to set around the edges. This egg cooks up so beautifully too. I'm going to turn my heat off so that I don't overcook these. And look at that beautiful scrambled egg. Look at these amazing scrambled eggs. Look at that. An egg is such an important food to have in your pantry, to make sure that you have that at all times. It's a very nutritious food. It is a complete protein full of nutrients that our bodies need. They're really, really great. And think of how many recipes use eggs, whether it's a cake or cookies or a quiche, casseroles, all sorts of things. Lots of different breakfast dishes, breakfast casseroles, so many different foods that we make rely on eggs. So making sure you have them at all times is absolutely very important. So, delicious eggs. I didn't season this with salt, pepper, or anything, so it just tastes like eggs. It is just complete eggs. You can make mayonnaise out of these eggs. You can make like egg salad. You can cook it up. You won't have separate yolks and whites, but you can cook it up like this, chop it up, mix it with mayo, have an egg salad. So many different things you can do with these eggs, and they're delicious. You wouldn't even know the difference between these and fresh eggs. So good. All right, and now I'm going to try the probiotic breath mints. So it says on the bottle, take twice daily. So after each time you brush your teeth, morning and night, I would think. Allow to dissolve slowly in the mouth. Do not chew. And then it says for freshest breath, take after meals. So that's why I wanted to wait till after I ate all that food. All right, so here it is. Here is the little mint. Little probiotic mint. Tastes good. I'm gonna have a hard time not chewing it. I am a chewer. Tastes really good. It has kind of a nice cooling sensation, like a cooling mint sensation. I really like that. I like the cooling feel that it has in my mouth. And it's actually dissolving pretty quickly. I thought I was gonna have a hard time not chewing it at the end. Like I always chew the last little bit of a hard candy, always. But I think I'm not gonna really have any trouble letting this dissolve. It's dissolving quickly. It tastes really good. It doesn't have a bad texture, has a nice cooling sensation. I'm not gonna have any trouble working these into my routine. I'm super excited about these because I really do understand how important probiotics are to our whole system. So this is just one more kind of layer in the wellness puzzle. Let me know down below what you've been stocking up on lately, the best deals you found, or what's on your list that you know you need to take care of soon. Don't forget to check out tryfreezedried.com and shopabetterway.com and join my text alerts if you're looking to stock up on the best foods at the lowest prices. Text alert for the basics. Usually I send around 2 to 3 messages a month, but if you're a true bargain hunter and you know how to just kind of scroll on by something that doesn't interest you, text Insider and join my Insiders list. I might send up to 2 to 3 texts a week for my Insiders when things are moving quickly, but you'll be among the first to know, and you'll be able to snag the best deals that always sell out the fastest. Remember, what you do today is an investment and it will pay off in the future. Whether it's your health, your food supply, or those little pieces of gear that will help you through a tight spot, future you will be glad that you took action today and didn't wait. Take a minute to check down below and make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I've got lots of content coming up that you won't want to miss. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a scale emoji down in the comments and check out this video next for some more prepping tips that you need right now. I'm Jera with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.